Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an idea that connects, believe it or not, nuclear standoffs, rush hour traffic, and maybe even your weekend plans. It's a way of looking at the world called game theory, and it helps us see the hidden rules that are guiding our choices every single day.
So, let me ask you this. Are you in a game right now? Just think about it for a second, because I guarantee the answer is yes. Anytime your best move depends on what someone else is going to do, whether you're asking for a raise or just trying to merge into traffic, you're playing a game. And today, we're going to learn how to see the strategy behind all of it. All right, so first things first. What do we even mean when we call all this a game? Let's start right there with the big foundational idea. What are the rules of this game of life?
At its core, it's pretty simple. It's a framework for looking at any situation where you can't just think about what you want. You have to think about what the other players are thinking and what they think you're thinking. So, no, it's not really about winning a board game. It's about decoding the hidden logic behind pretty much every decision that involves other people.
And here's the cool part. It turns out that every single one of these so-called games, no matter how complicated they seem, can be broken down into the same few basic building blocks. And once you learn to spot them, you'll start seeing this hidden structure almost everywhere you look.
Every game has these three things. First up, you've got the players. Those are the decision makers. Could be you and your boss or two giant companies. Then you have their strategies. These are all the possible moves they can make, like, say, setting a price high or low. And finally, the payoffs. This is what everyone gets, the outcome, for better or worse, based on the combination of choices everyone made.
Okay, so to really see how this works, we have to look at probably the most famous thought experiment in all of game theory. It's a really simple story, but it just brilliantly shows the tension between what's best for you and what's best for the group. This is the prisoner's dilemma.
So here's the setup. Imagine two partners in crime get caught. They're put in separate interrogation rooms, so they can't talk to each other at all. The police offer each of them the exact same deal, and their choice is simple. Do you betray your partner and confess, or do you stay loyal and keep your mouth shut?
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's walk through the payoffs. If you both stay silent, you're cooperating, right? You both get a light sentence, just 1 year in jail. That is the best possible outcome for the two of you as a group. But what if you confess and your partner stays silent? Well, you walk away completely free and they get slammed with a long sentence. And if you both confess, you both get a medium sentence, say 5 years. So, put yourself in that room alone. What do you do?
This brings us to a really important idea, the dominant strategy. Let's just think it through from your perspective. Okay, scenario 1. Your partner stays silent. What's your best move? It's to confess, right? You go from 1 year in jail to 0. Now, scenario 2. Your partner confesses. What's your best move now? It's still to confess. You go from 10 years down to 5. You see? No matter what the other person does, you are always better off if you confess. That's a dominant strategy.
And here's the kicker. Since confessing is the dominant strategy for both of you, the most likely outcome is that you both betray each other and you both get 5 years. This outcome is called the Nash equilibrium. It's a stable point because from that position, neither of you can do better by changing your mind on your own. And that right there is the paradox. You have two perfectly rational people, both acting in their own best interest, and they end up in a situation that is clearly worse for both of them than if they had just cooperated.
Now this dilemma, this incredible tension between what you want as an individual and what's good for the group, well, it doesn't just happen in fictional prison cells. Once you learn to recognize it, you start seeing it absolutely everywhere, from global politics all the way down to our daily lives. A really important way to understand these games is to know if they're zero-sum or non-zero-sum. A zero-sum game is pretty straightforward. Think of chess or poker. For me to win, you have to lose. My winnings are your losses. But you know what? Most of life isn't like that. Most of life is non-zero-sum. In a trade negotiation, it's actually possible for both sides to win, or, for that matter, for both to lose. The prisoner's dilemma is a classic non-zero-sum game because that mutual cooperation path leads to a better score for everyone involved. And people use this framework all over the place. Seriously,
Economists use it to figure out why two companies in a price war just end up hurting each other's profits. Political scientists see international arms races as one giant high-stakes prisoner's dilemma. You can even find it in biology, in computer science, and yeah, it even explains why when everyone tries to merge at the last second, it creates a traffic jam that's worse for everybody.
But, okay, let's take a breath. We need a quick reality check here. Game theory is an amazing model, but it's not a crystal ball. It is incredibly powerful for making our thinking clearer, but it's built on a few big assumptions that, well, don't always hold up in the real, messy world.
Probably the biggest assumption is that players are perfectly rational robots who are always trying to maximize their personal gain. But that's not us, right? We're human. We're driven by things like emotion, loyalty, trust, and even fear, all things that might lead a real prisoner to stay silent. These models also tend to assume everyone has all the information, which almost never happens. The real world is just way messier than that.
So maybe the best way to think about it is this. Game theory gives us the tools to predict and understand why people behave strategically. But how accurate it is really depends on how well the model actually fits the real situation. It doesn't just hand you the answer, it helps you ask much better questions.
So we end right back where we started. You now have this new lens, the basics of game theory. You can start spotting the players, their strategies, and the potential payoffs all around you. You can see the hidden logic in everything from a price tag at the store to a political debate on TV. So the only question left is, now that you can see the game, what's your next move?